On this episode, I talk about Kim, I talk about Tom, and I talk about some stinking cheeses. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the PMD Tea Buyers Club. I'm your host, Anandre Silva, and today I'm back in the kitchen. I'm back tasting cheeses. I'm back pairing them up with teas. I had a lot of fun doing the cheddar and tea episode last week that took forever to load to Facebook, but I'm back in the kitchen and today I'm talking soft cheeses. I've got 3 soft cheeses, 2 from England, 1 over the channel from France, and then I'm going to pair them up, hopefully, I don't know yet, but hopefully I'm going to pair them up to light liquoring teas. I've got some very light teas, including some green teas here as well. If you remember from the other episode where we did the cheddars, we had very thick, strong liquoring teas that would blend in well with those thick cheddars. Today's cheeses are very different. They're soft cheeses. Some of them are quite light. I've had a little nibble of them just to get an idea. And I think maybe some lighter liquoring teas that aren't as strong will work very well. So what cheeses have I got here today? Well, the first one I've got is from France. It's a goat's cheese. It's this big round block here. That's from France. It's known as a Saint Omer, and it's a goat's cheese. Then I've got the first cheese from England, which is a Wigmore, which is actually grown up here in Berkshire. Well, not grown, but produced here in Berkshire. And then I've got the cheese that I'm looking forward to tasting the most, which is this stinking Bishop. And guessing by the name, stinking, it's actually honking. I can smell that pungent character right up here. It's very, very pungent. I'm really looking forward to tasting this cheese. So, in terms of teas, what have I got? Well, I've got a sencha green tea, a deep steam sencha from Shizuoka province in Japan. I've got our planter's green tea that's grown in where's it grown? Halgranoya in Udapusalava in Sri Lanka. That's a mouthful for you guys. Udapusalava. If you can say it, in fact, here's an idea. Film yourself saying Udapusalava and send it back to me. The best pronunciation, I'm going to send you out some green tea. That's your homework task of the day. Then I've got a Lover's Leap from Norelia, a seasonal one. I've then got a oolong tea from Hamdanagoda Estate, which you probably remember from the last episode where we did cheeses and we tasted their souchong. Then I've got our Planter's Afternoon, which is a blend. I'll talk more about that when I get onto it. And then again our Earl Grey, because I'm thinking maybe the citrusy note in the Earl Grey will work quite well with some of these cheeses. So let's try the first cheese. I'm going to leave the Stinking Bishop till last because I know that's quite strong. And I'm going to start off with the French Saint Omer, which is the goat's cheese. Now I've left these cheeses out for about a good part, close to an hour I think. And as you can see, they're very gooey, very runny, and this is how it should be. So if you're ever tasting cheeses like this, pull them out of the fridge for about at least half an hour, let them come up to room temperature and let that gooiness come out. Let's have a look at the bouquet of this. Very light, very creamy note coming through, very light, a little sea salt smell coming out of it as well. And by the way, before I say anything else, I want to thank Nick from Windsor Farm Shop for helping me choose out these cheeses. And if anyone wants to know where Windsor Farm Shop is, click the link below. I'm going to link them up. And also, if anyone wants to get a beautiful tea gift with a teapot for their grandmother, head into Windsor Farm Shop and then go and see that teapot. Full disclosure, yes, we supply them. Let's give this tea a taste. That is really nice. Really, really nice. Very thin, very creamy, slight little bitter sea salt, seaweed taste in the mid palate, but very thin. It's a wonderful cheese. This is the kind of cheese that you guys might want to get for a Christmas cheese board. It's a wonderful goat's cheese. It's not too thick. It doesn't leave your palate with that oily kind of taste around it. Very thin, very nice. I'm going to go with a lover's leap actually. Let's start in the middle. That doesn't go. The cheese is too light. The lover's leap has this astringent quality that comes through in it. It's growing at about 6,000 feet. It's too strong, it ends up overpowering the cheese. Let's try a bit more cheese. Nice and gooey this. Just see it dripping off. Let's try the Japanese Sencha with this instead. That goes really well. That is a perfect pairing. Scent aroma, that salty flavour that you get in the mid palate just combines so well with this deep steam Sencha. Sencha's thick grassy notes really work with this type of cheese. It's light, so is the Sencha. You're getting a little more character in the Sencha because it is a deeper steam. A deeper steam Sencha means that it's been steamed for longer and the flavour is a little more pronounced. Excuse me. But this as a pairing goes exceptionally well. Let's try the same thing, maybe with our Planters Green. Again, that light green taste in this one, it works exceptionally well. Very light, but has a bit of body in this cup, which takes through the salty flavour that you find in this cheese. So something like a Saint Omer from France, I'd go with a lighter tasting tea like these two green teas. You probably wouldn't think cheese would pair up well with green tea, but hey, there you go. The next cheese that I've got on the menu is the Wigmore. Now the reason why it's known as the Wigmore is because it's made by Anna and Andy Wigmore out here in Berkshire. It's an artisanal cheese. It's made by sheep's milk. So let's give this a go. Now this cheese is actually 48% fat, hence why I went for a run for about 6 miles around the Great Park in Windsor today, because I knew I'd be doing this in the afternoon. Smells a lot lighter. In fact, yeah, that has a much stronger smell than this. A lot lighter. Almost like it's like gone off milk. I quite like it actually. You ever opened a can of milk? It's been gone off for a few days and you just get that horrible pungent smell? Maybe not a few days, maybe just slightly gone off. It's not too bad in smell. It smells nothing like the Stinky Bishop. Let's give this a go. Get a slight nutty, bitter note in the middle. Very nutty actually, almost like walnuts. Almost like walnuts. Very thin on the palate though, very thin. But there's a lot of texture in this cheese, a lot of texture. A lot of texture, especially in the middle. I'm getting a lot of salt coming out of the cheese as well. Right in the mid palate. I'm going to go with something like this Earl Grey and see how that pairs. Nope, way too strong. Way too strong. Too much body in the Earl Grey. That uses a low-grown Ruhuna leaf and it's just, this is too much body. It just ends up overpowering this cheese. It doesn't complement it well at all. Let's try it again. Maybe with, let's go in the middle. Let's go in the middle this time. 100 Souchong works exceptionally well. This is one of my favourite teas actually. I think this is one of the best teas coming out of Sri Lanka, and I think the planter, Mr. Herman Gunaratne, and his team have created a wonderful tea here. This is a low-grown tea, but it's one of Sri Lanka's oolong teas. So they haven't fermented it for as long as a usual low-grown black tea would be. Hence why you've got a much lighter cup. Much lighter cup. And that, I think I've got cheese in my beard, but that, with this type of cheese, works exceptionally well. You're getting that slight salty taste. It's being taken over by the floral note in this tea. This is a wonderful pairing. In fact, I'm going to try that one again. In fact, instead of trying that one again, let me try it with the Lover's Leap this time. I think clearly I'm seeing a pattern. Light tasting cheeses work better with lighter teas. Mild tasting cheeses working better here with these mid-bodied teas that aren't too thin but have a lot of flavour, and in some cases that have a lot of astringency. Let's give the Stinking Bishop a go. Now this is the Stinking Bishop. It's grown out in Gloucester, and the reason why it's called Stinking Bishop is because this pungent aroma that's coming off this cheese, I don't even need to lift it, I can smell it coming off from here. The reason why this cheese has this pungent aroma is because it's washed in it's actually washed through alcohol, which is fermented from the Stinking Bishop pear, and that's known as perry, and that's where it gets this pungent aroma. So let's have a smell of this cheese. Now I've left it out for a bit, and you can see it's just very gooey, very thick, very runny. Oh, it smells. Rala isn't liking the smell of that. She's not liking it. Oh, this to me, it's a familiar smell. And I love stinking cheeses, but this to me reminds me of two things. Number one, it reminds me, I think Rala's going to be sick. She's walking out now. This to me reminds me of Tom Meal's gym bag. Anyone who doesn't know who Tom Meal is, he's one of my best friends. I think we've been friends since about 7 years old. And this guy's gym bag, I sat next to him from the age of 7, 8 till I was about 18 years old. This guy never washed his gym bag, probably once a term, maybe once a year. But this is what this guy's gym bag smelled like, and I had the pleasure of smelling it pretty much every day for at least 10 years. More than 10 years, I think. But this is what it smells like, and the other thing it smells like is, I have a friend called Kim, and she smells a bit like this sometimes as well. Not going to name who Kim is, because I don't want to embarrass her. Now, let's give the Stinking Bishop a go. Now, the Stinking Bishop is actually a cow's cheese. Got a tiny taste of it. In fact, I'm just going to throw that away and just use my hands. Very pungent, like I said. Let's give it a go. Oh, I can't take the smell. Very thick, very creamy. You're getting that pear taste actually in your mouth. You're getting like a slight taste of gone off pear. A pear apple taste. You can certainly taste that in the mid to back palate. It's very pronounced. It's very thick. It's a very gooey cheese, as you can see. It's stuck to the cheese board. It's very gooey, so as a result it leaves a coating, almost like an oily coating across your palate, unlike the other two cheeses. Looking at how the other two cheeses went, I think I'm going to go for something like our Planter's Afternoon. Now, our Planter's Afternoon is a blend of two regions. I'm not going to give you both regions because our competition would love to know what they are. But I will tell you one of the regions is from the Uva region in Sri Lanka. Now, it's a medium-bodied tea. It's a BOP leaf. We haven't featured it on the show before. And BOP leaves give you good strength and they give you good balance and body. So let's have a go at this. that works exceptionally well. You're getting that, you need that body for a strong tasting cheese like this. This is a very strong tasting cheese. It's very thick on the palate. You need something bold and brash to hold it up. Now this Planter's Afternoon isn't too bold and brash. It's not like the breakfast. It's very much like a thud in your mouth. It has enough body, but it also has another dimension to it. There's a lot of fruit flavor in this, and there's a slight astringent hint to this tea as well. Being from Uber, it has a slight astringent hint that gives it an extra dimension that works well with foods. So if you've ever tried, if you ever want the perfect pairing for let's say afternoon tea treats with scones, Planter's Afternoon works exceptionally well. It balances itself with the doughiness of a scone, along with the fruity aspects from the jam. And again, what else do you have on scones with jam? Clotted cream. So this is why this tea will work exceptionally well. Let's try that cheese, the same cheese again, and see how it works this time with the Earl Grey. I think this actually could work quite well with an Earl Grey. I could see myself having this with either blue grapes or maybe even some blueberries. I think would work with this. You want to try some of this? Very peary, reminds me actually of like the West Country. Reminds me a lot of West Country. Having a bit of cider on a nice summer's day. Let's try this with this Earl Grey. I think it'll go well. That goes exceptionally well. Exactly how I said. A citrus note comes in and it balances with that pear flavour. In fact, I think it slightly enhances the pear flavour. The body in the tea, being a low-grown leaf, knocks out the creaminess that you get here, and those two combine well. I'm going to give this tea a taste once more, and then I want to try it with either the oolong and either the Lover's Leap. Let me try it with the Lover's Leap just to see. This also with the Lover's Leap, because you've got that strong astringent flavour coming through in the seasonal tea, works exceptionally well. Let me try that same cheese with the sapphire oolong, just to see how that works. It doesn't work. It's too thin. The stinking bishop just overpowers that tea. I can't taste any of that tea at all, and I just taste too much of the stinking bishop. So I would say the lighter flavours with this cow's cheese won't work. You need stronger tasting flavours that have a lot more body, have a lot more character to them to really enhance, really sort of lock in a flavour like this and either enhance it or in some cases mellow it down. Out of the three cheeses today, I think my favourite one has to be this French cheese. It is very, very nice, very light. If you're not into your soft cheeses, try something like this. I think you guys will like it. If you're not into your soft cheeses, try something like this. If you are into your soft cheeses and you want a stinky, honking cheese, that reminds me of my friend Tom Meals. Gym bag, go for the stinking bishop. If you want something mild in the middle, the Wigmore is a wonderful, pleasant tasting cheese. As for the teas, guys, these are the kinds of teas I would go for. Light teas for the lighter cheeses, mid-range teas for the more milder ones, and then for these strong, honking, strong-bodied flavoured cheeses, you need some thick, robust teas that aren't too thick, but that have a lot of character and have a lot of flavour inside them. So check them out. Oh, that really works. Check them out, and also keep sending in your name suggestions for the puppy. The puppy's arriving on Saturday. That's 3 more sleeps till the dog comes, isn't it? 3 more sleeps till the dog comes. Keep sending in your name suggestions on the Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, head down to our Facebook page and give us a name suggestion. If we have some nice name suggestions, I'm actually going to pick the name of the dog on this show, and whoever's name suggestion it is, I'm going to send you some tea to wherever you are in the world. As ever, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next week on the PMD Tea Buyers Club.